Fear no one, trust in God's providence. For this Sunday, the Gospel passage comes from Matthew chapter 10, 26 to 33. Gospel reminds us of Jesus' words to his disciples, words that hold great relevance for us in our lives. Jesus begins by urging his disciples not to fear anyone. Fear can paralyze us, preventing us from living out our faith and boldly proclaiming the message of the gospel. Jesus reassures us that nothing remains hidden forever. The truth will ultimately be revealed and secrets will be known. We can find comfort in the knowledge that God's light shines brightly, dispelling all darkness. Fear no one. Trust in God's providence. Jesus instructs his disciples to speak in the light what he has shared with them in the darkness. We are all called to share the good news of Jesus Christ, to proclaim his teachings with courage and conviction. We must not keep our faith hidden away, but rather proclaim it from the housetops boldly and without fear. Let's ask ourselves, how are we living out this call? Are we sharing our faith with others, both in word and in action? Jesus reminds us not to fear those who can only harm the body, but cannot harm the soul. It's easy for us to worry about worldly concerns, seeking the approval and acceptance of others. But Jesus encourages us to have a different perspective. Instead, we should fear God, the one who has authority over both body and soul. Our primary concern should be living in the way that pleases God, rather than seeking the favors of others. When we live in the world, we look for acceptance. We expect people should love us. We tend to please people. But gospel calls for a living in a way that pleases God, putting God the center of our lives. Let's examine our lives and discern where our priorities lie. Are we more concerned about worldly acceptance or about pleasing God? Let's proclaim boldly and without fear from the rooftop to dispel the darkness with the message of the gospel, which is light of Christ himself. Jesus illustrates God's care for his creation to the example of sparrows. If God pays attention to even the smallest creatures, how much more does he care for us as beloved children? We are of great worth to God and is intimately aware of every detail of our lives. This should bring us great comfort and reassurance that God cares for his beloved children. It's a great comfort and a great reassurance. We need not be afraid, for God knows our needs, is attentive to our every circumstance. Jesus speaks about the importance of acknowledging him before others. Our faith should not be kept hidden, confined within the walls of our churches or the privacy of our homes and communities. We are called to be witnesses to the truth, proclaiming our faith in both word and deed. When we acknowledge Jesus before others, he in turn acknowledges us before our Heavenly Father. However, if we deny Jesus before others, we risk being denied by him as well. Let's cast aside fear and trust in God's providence. As we reflect on the gospel passage, let's cast aside fear and trust in God's providence. May we boldly proclaim the gospel, living our faith authentically and fearlessly. Remember that God knows our every need, values us immensely, and cares for us with great tenderness. Let's strive to acknowledge Jesus in all aspects of our life, trusting that He will acknowledge us before our Heavenly Father. May the grace of God strengthen us and embolden us to live as faithful disciples of Christ. God bless.